How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which ended up showing a lot of strength inside of the market, finishing just above 4%. And what I'm going to be talking about is going into tomorrow with the witching day. You want to be prepared. You want to have the strategy. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $24.65, being up 4.36%. On the low, it tested $22.85, and then on the high, testing $24.93. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 21.347 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 24.302 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we still saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 46.41. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it is clear to see since we are trading below all of our major moving averages, Lucid is in a bear market. So like I was saying in my previous video, we wanted to see Lucid hold up above $22. It was able to do that, and we ended up getting a test right at resistance at $24.93. We know that $25 is a psychological area, so there's no surprise why it was not able to pass it today. But going into tomorrow, it could get interesting because as you can see, it is looking very bullish. We've been forming some higher lows for the past 2 trading days, and there's a strong possibility we can get above that 21-day EMA and be able to get to the area of around 25.50. But do know, once we get into this particular area, then we need to make that move going to 27.50, and that'll be a good setup going into next week. If we end up having some consolidation or we have a slight pullback, I want to see us continue to hold up the $22 level. This will be key because the moment we fall below $22, that's where we start seeing some weakness inside of the stock. So let's see how Lucid performs going into tomorrow. Do know we do have the quad witching, so you want to see a continuation of this bullish trend in regards to forming a higher low, so anything above $22.85. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So you can see we don't have any recent filings aside from the ones we've already went over in previous videos, but we can see here Optimum Investment Advisors increased their position by 130%. So that is very bullish right there. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 49%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 5.06 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 400,000, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow-free rate, it is at 9.34%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 15th, it was at 56.16, and then for the close of the 16th being at 49. So one thing that is very clear, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see on the inflow it's at 60.41, and then on the outflow it's at 118. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it is 3.01, on the medium it was 35.25, and then on the small it was 22.15. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 48.46, on the medium it was 47.82, and then on the small it was 21. 1.86. And keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, March the 17th, we ended up having an outflow of 45.45 million. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, it tends to represent the retail side. We had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, for the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.30%. So that is not too bad whatsoever, still continues to be in a consistent range. And you can see from that order flow, we have a lot of big money that is taking profits. But we have to understand the stock still continues to show some strength, so we do have a good amount of buying that is coming in. Now let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, if you guys remember what I said in my previous video, as long as it holds up $22, it can continue to show some strength. There's only weakness if it falls below $22. As far as where we got to the high, yes, we still are struggling to get to that psychological area at 25 bucks. The moment we can have a close above $25, that's where we want to look forward to seeing that move to $27.50 and then getting to the next psychological area at $30. So that's what you want to add to your homework. And like I've said, as far as weakness, you need that price action below 22. It has been showing a good amount of strength. It is on a bullish uptrend when we take a look at our chart, but it is trading below all of our major moving averages, so it is in a bear market. So a reversal could happen, but I want to make sure you're staying on alert as far as for Friday. We do have the quad witching. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see institutions have been increasing their positions. Plus, on top of that, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why the moment we have some more buying pressure coming into the stock, or we end up having a catalyst, you could see it make some moves. But one thing that we have to be aware of, the market has been on quite the tear as of late, and we know that stocks just don't go straight up. So there will be a pullback. So if that's what you're looking for, I will continue to exercise some patience. And also, there are many who keep asking me, Dre, this stock won't go below $20. Should I buy above $20? I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot give you financial advice, and you have to do what works best for you. And before I close this video out, let me just share a recent press release that came out today from Lucid. So we have it. So Lucid Group CEO Rawlinson says company has started on a prototype of in-house cell production. Lucid Group CEO Peter Rawlinson says full self-driving is many years away. So again, we know that's going to take some time. And in the next point, Lucid Group CEO Peter Rawlinson says that company has started on a prototype of in-house cell production. I think this is great. They want to utilize their battery technology, and this can be done for commercial use or even residential. That is the potential that is surrounded around it. So I think this will be a good look for Lucid, and it also can help them develop another revenue stream outside of what they currently have. So if you are a long-term investor, this is the kind of news that you want to be excited about. But we have to understand, and we can't ignore the fact, we have a lot of challenges going on in the environment. Yes, we have been dealing with issues in regards to inflation, but we also cannot ignore the fact in regards to supply chain shortages. And this is going to have an effect on deliveries, getting the components that they need for their vehicles. So this is why this stock is going to continue to see a lot of volatility, and you just want to make sure that you are prepared for that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's see how Lucid performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.